Let's go!
Beat the champs, you gotta beat the champs, and we didn't do it tonight.
Are the Buffalo Bills robbed of the Super Bowl? I don't know. So let's start off with the first big controversial call in this game. This ball ended up being fumbled way back towards the negative, and the Bills were able to recover it. But I'm not showing you the play because it was not called because they called Ed Oliver offsides, okay? So obviously we don't have a camera angle directly down the line of scrimmage here, but this is really close. Let's see. Is he off? It just depends on the line judge here if he could see if the helmet was actually crossed this line to gain. Now, of course, as many of you know, the Chiefs would eventually fumble later in the drive, but the Bills were awarded far better field position with this ball, squirting all the way backwards like it did. So this call was 50-50 if you ask me. Once again, it just comes down to if the line judge saw it. And that's why I believe on every single play, there needs to be a camera right down the line to gain. All right, Kaiir Elam was just terrible in this game. They ended up calling this a face mask, even though this should have just been hands to the face or whatever. And look, Hollywood's hand is on his face too. So once again, it is one of those things. It is a penalty, though, on the Bills, and they do call this face mask, but probably should have just been a 5-yard hands to the face. A little bit later in the half, this is just holding by Damar Hamlin. I understand there's a lot of contact here with Kelsey, but this is always going to be a defensive penalty, even if it is not Taylor Swift's boyfriend running this for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a penalty 12 times out of 10. Really good call, and it's a first down. So far, Bills have had no just egregious calls against them in this game. All right, so the biggest play of the first half happens right here. 3rd and 5, it's a jump ball thrown up here by Patrick Mahomes. Once again, really good pass protection here. Is this holding right here by Trey Smith? That looks bad, right? It looked like a lasso right there on Von Miller. Obviously, that changes this play drastically. How about the right tackle here, Jawan Taylor? Once again, rip moves, they let rip moves go, okay? But at the end, it does look like a little bit of a tug. I'm okay with letting holding calls go both ways, whatever. Now, we get to this. Obviously, I didn't agree with Sean McDermott challenging this, but let's get a better angle of this 50-50 play. Okay, so I don't know the rule book enough to decipher all of this, okay? Because the gray area here gets very weird. So this ball does hit the ground. It does look like, and obviously the first initial discussion, should this have been a Bills interception? It does look like the Bills player has more possession of the ball with 2 hands on it than Xavier Worthy with 1 hand on it. But as many of us know, tie always goes to the receiver. Now the second thing is the ball does hit the ground, but it's still being controlled by both of the players. All right, so this ball doesn't bobble at all. So yes, it hitting the ground helped Worthy make the catch. Where I, bring in this question is because it's tied, right? It's obviously, Worthy doesn't have possession, nor does the Bills player have possession. Well, they both do. They have tied possession. If it hits the ground while there's tied possession, is it an incompletion? I don't know. But as you can see, the ball is firmly controlled by the 2 of them. So I'm actually okay with this being called a first down. I can live with that. So no egregious, missed calls. We'll give you this final replay angle here. Let's speed this up. And I'm fine with living with that. All right, big play in this game. Touchdown is scored. You get an unsportsmanlike penalty here on 67 when this is a clear taunting by Travis Kelce. He is point blank in the face of Damar Hamlin, and that's taunting. I mean, it just is. You just have to know they're not going to call that on Kelce at home in Arrowhead, okay? And that is a lot of taunting point blank right in Damar Hamlin's face. And obviously, Phillips comes in and hits Kelce. Well, we did a bad call thing earlier for the Commanders-Eagles game. In this situation, they're going to give the call to the home team. Okay, it's just how it's going to work. Phillips was far more aggressive and physical, and obviously he puts his helmet right into Kelce, and he flops, and that's actually what draws the penalty here. And look, he flails his arms. Referees do need to be better here. I mean, it's clear that Kelce was taunting right in front of this guy, and he doesn't throw the flag, and then that flag gets thrown. All right, obviously there's a lot of missed calls in the course of a game, so we're skipping over a few. Some that obviously went in the Chiefs' favor, but this could have been massive. So Josh Allen picks up the fourth down. There is a fumble, but Allen is able to recover it. All right, so here's the big miss, though. Huge face mask right here. So if this ball is lost and the Chiefs recover it and that face mask isn't called, then what are we doing, right? I just don't understand how replays or calls just can't be reviewed, right? Let's just say the Chiefs pick this up, right? This is one of the biggest missed calls in the history of the NFL if the Chiefs pick this up. The clearest face mask, once again, it's incidental. He's trying to, bat the ball loose. But not only does he hit it, he grabs it, right? It's a finger latched in there, Sam Smith style, okay? Man, I understand that they don't want to do it, but they need to bring back reviewing penalties or lack thereof, okay? Because that should have been reviewed. Even if Allen did recover, you should be able to review and say, hey, we want the 15 yards right there. All right, so now we get to by far the most controversial portion of this game. All right, 3rd and 3, little RPO read right here for Josh Allen, and it is a good read, right? You get a 2-on-1 right here. And Shakir obviously does not lay a good block. Give 27 a lot of credit for making this play. But it does look like Kincaid picks up this first down. All right? It's close. All right? Obviously, man, it's, let's see, knee not down. Elbow down right there. No, that looks like a good spot to me. That looks good to me. All right. I'm taking this from Dave Portnoy's breakdown. It looks like that's good. Man, it's tough. Because it looks like he kind of lost the ball right there. Or is that his elbow? Either way, they mark it short. Okay. You guys let me know what you think, okay? That looks about right. I think that's a happy medium right there, okay? All right, now we get to the actual tush push. All right, 4th down, and obviously, like the broadcaster said, Allen likes to go left on the push, okay? It's just impossible to know where he is. Judging by where his buhani is, okay, we know for sure that the ball is on the lefter side of Allen right here, or just straight ahead. If his butt's right here, you would like to think that that is good enough for a first down, okay? But watch what actually happened. So the near side official, who actually to me has a better view of it because the football is in this direction. So the line judge coming in here from the bottom of the screen doesn't have as good of a look-see at this as the referee at the top. So I would go with his spot. There's also just a lot of chaos and traffic mixed in here. Doesn't help McDuffie is right here. You can see this official has it as a first down. This official overrules it, okay? You can clearly see that it's a yard-ish difference. Here's what's very interesting as well about this play that's not being discussed. Watch what actually happens here with Tranquil. He gets in the way of the ref and is talking to him and kind of bumps him. Okay? It's so hard. I just know where the ball was placed. I would think this ref would have a better view of where the ball actually should have been. But here's the thing from a Buffalo Bills standpoint. When you do the tush pushes, there's going to be a lot of ambiguity with the spots, right? Because there's just so many bodies mixed in there. So it's hard for me to just be totally outraged by that. But I do think this judge should have had the better advantage of actually marking the football. Okay, so we'll get this up close and personal view. Give the Chiefs a lot of credit for surging right here. And let's just see if we can gather something from this. And yeah, okay, so if his butt is, and that's something else, is the line to gain was the solid 40-yard line. If we saw that his butt is on the line to gain, but obviously the ball is actually it's hard. All right, so did the referees cost the Bills? Well, yes and no. I mean, I think the 50-50 calls win in the way of Kansas City? Yeah, but they earned the 1 seed, home field advantage, all that mumbo jumbo. You really got to come out and beat the champions, and it's clear that the Chiefs, to me, have more talent, and they're a better coach, right? Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid are just better, and Mahomes is just slightly better than Josh Allen. It's not much. But I do want to talk about one call that actually went against the Chiefs potentially here. All right, so we pick it up here, and it's actually the same line judge. And I tried to find another replay of this play. There quite simply isn't one. And obviously in the flats, you have Isaiah Pacheco wide open. It looked to me he slid out in bounds here, but the line judge here ruled that he was out. So this actually goes against Kansas City. You know, stepping out of bounds, you preserve a timeout under 2 minutes. It just depends if that right foot touched out of bounds. But right here, he is in bounds. So the clock, in theory, should have kept running, okay? And you could see Tranquil obviously still getting in the way of the line judge there. He thought that it was in bounds, okay? There's not really anyone over there saying in bounds, out of bounds, whatever. But, man, this is tough. It's really, really, really tough. I did think, though, the overall game, Kansas City was better. And I do think they're the better team. But, man, I will say the 50-50 calls did seem to go in Kansas City's way. And that's that. So you guys let me know down below. And we will get to our Chiefs film studies pretty soon. Patty, back to the Super Bowl. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom. Tonight, we're doing steak.